Hey guys, it's me, Larry Sanders from Photo Talk. This week in the studio we have Kevin Maurice from Kevin Maurice Photography. Kevin, introduce yourself.
All right. Again, like Larry says, Kevin Maurice, I'm a photographer. I used to tell people that I'm a wedding photographer, but I think I shoot pretty much everything. I'm a big fan of telling people that I like to shoot regular people. I like everyday things. I love the weddings, love wedding cake. That's the main reason why I shoot weddings, but I guess I'm sort of motivated and inspired by fashion, history, landscape, nature, and music, and so I try to weave a lot of that into my photography.
Okay, so listen, so I follow you, and you just went to this like road trip to Ohio, and so I'm thinking, Ohio, why Ohio, first of all? And you did all these little short videos, while you were there, but you never gave anything away, I see you in a big freight elevator. I'm like, I want to be there. Where the heck was that?
Anyone thinks of Ohio as like a fashion hub.
Right, that's what, I'm thinking, okay.
Well, oddly enough, I guess New York, LA, and to a certain extent Atlanta is kind of considered the fashion hub of the US, and so interestingly enough, when I speak to a lot of these designers and stylists, makeup artists, and things of that nature, I say, okay, well, are you from New York originally? No, I'm from Idaho, or I'm from Tennessee.
Right.
And so my thought is that, these may be the international hubs for fashion and photography or whatever, but at the end of the day, we're all normal people, so everybody comes from somewhere and everyone has a passion. So I want to see if we can go and find something creative, if we can find some fashion forward type designs in places outside of where you would normally expect.
And speaking of the photographs, we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to go over those photographs. All right, guys, we're back, and we're getting ready to go over. We talked about Kevin shooting some of the images in Ohio and getting to some shoots together, and so we're going to go over some of the images that you shot, and you can explain a little bit who it was, maybe give some shout-outs and some credits to the model and makeup artist if you can remember. If not, we'll put it in the end.
Absolutely. I try to remember all the people that I work with. I work with so many, but I tell you, this particular shot with Ariel Giblin, she's a model from Cincinnati, and a real nice person, very energetic, very spirited, and brought a lot of energy to the shoot. And this is
Speaking of this image, so did you have her laying down? Is that what you
actually, I did. In this particular image, she was laying down. The studio space that I was shooting in was in an old industrial district. It was sort of an old warehouse.
Yeah. So was that where the freight elevator was?
Exactly. Okay. You had to go into a freight elevator and close the gates
and
go up. And that was pretty cool. I mean, I tell you, it's a creative smorgasbord of just a lot of interesting textures and visuals and things of that nature. And so I felt really pumped going into the shoot. And I got into the studio. Old hardwood floors, just a nice layout. Studio Dayton, thanks again for the use of your studio. Had to, give the guys a shout out. It was an awesome space to shoot, and the people that came to us were really great.
So did you know her before the shoot?
Actually, I did not. We communicated through Facebook and through email, and then eventually we got to talking on the phone, and I looked at her portfolio online, and I said, you know what, she's interesting.
Okay.
She has an interesting look. A lot of great photographers have shot her before. And so I wanted to pair her up with somebody that I had been in communication with in Ohio. I wanted to involve the flooring, hardwood floors.
Gotcha.
We wanted to add a couple of pieces from the designer. She had a nice jewel that we let the model hold, and I wanted to be able to display the makeup and the hair in a tight shot, but a kind of a warm portrait.
Gotcha.
So that's where we came up with that particular idea.
And this next one is that her still? Is it?
It
her
is.
Standing in,
same model.
Same model.
And this is an interesting shot. Actually, we were standing, and she does a little dance. We had the music playing, and she was dancing and jumping around, and I just loved the way her hair bounced while she was dancing. So I said, you know what? keep going, keep doing that. And I just grabbed a couple of frames. I said, you know what, do a jump for me. How high can you jump? So she tested a couple of times. She jumped, and I was watching how her hair would kind of volume up when she did the jump. I said, do me a favor, put your hands down, jump straight up as high as you can. And she jumped up, and I grabbed the frame.
So this picture, she's actually in the air when you took it?
She was actually in the air when I took that picture.
Let's explain this image. Is she laying down, or?
Actually, she's sitting up. We had taken a series of images of her laying down to get the hardwood texture, and she sat up because somebody else in the room had called her, was asking her a question. So she sat up and turned her head, and I looked. I just happened to be at a certain angle when she did that, and I said, you know what? Let's try that again. I said, go ahead and do your look again, and I believe it was the hairstylist warning her that her hair was falling over into place, and she was taking instructions there. But I said, go ahead and lean up, and I framed it so I can capture some of the hardwood still and capture that look, and the way the light fell across her, it just made for a perfect image. And you know, some of those things are by
photographer. You want to draw the person into the image. You know, you want to capture their attention, and then you want them to linger on the photo for a second or two. Because you know, nowadays we're inundated with images, so we just scan the images. So I want to be able, as a photographer, take an image and make somebody say, "Okay, wow, okay, yeah, she's pretty and all," or the subject's great, but yeah, look what else is going on in this photograph.
Right, and that's the thing. And you know, as a photographer, an artist, or just a person casually looking at an image, you know, we're firstly drawn to the subject, then we're drawn to the light. Then we're drawn by wherever the line leads us to. And so that's the reason why we have these rules of photography, to kind of keep this keep the viewer's eyes onto the subject of interest, you know, and maybe use a guide. And so, you know, I sort of like to do that in a lot of my imagery. I like the lines to lead to the subject. I like to make sure that the brightest spot is on the subject, and that, you know, no matter where you go in the image, no matter where your eyes go in the image, there's some dynamic of that image that's drawing you back to the subject. And that's how I like to light my portraits. Make sure that your eyes go back to where you need to be looking.
Well, you accomplished your goal.